How soon could we begin to see British warplanes arriving there?
Well, it could be within the next hour. Philip Hammond, the Foreign Secretary, was speaking to me earlier on, and I asked him that question. He said effectively they have the assets in place. They're largely in Cyprus, a UK base there, and it's just a case of arming the jets. They've been identifying the targets already, so they're confident that they've got them. So pretty much in the skies over Syria in the next couple of hours, and certainly in action on Thursday throughout the day. So it will happen very quickly indeed, and a lot of military work's gone into it already. I think we can see who we've got going in there. We've got various MPs going in and some front benchers also there for the government. So pretty much the whole of the House of Commons there present. As you can see, they're all gathered. So many people are gathered there, they haven't got enough seats. So this is a massive moment really for the House of Commons. They've been dedicated a whole day's debate to this.
Yeah, about 10.5 hours. And as we wait for the results of this vote to come down any second, any minute now, let's talk a little bit, Max, about what the UK's involvement has been in the fight against ISIS thus far. You were mentioning just a few moments ago that Britain has been carrying out
Here we go.
All right.
Order.
It looks pretty close to me, I think.
The ayes to the right, 397. The noes to the left, 223.
Thank you. The ayes to the right, 397. The noes to the left, 223. So the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Unlock. Order. We come now to the petition.
Okay, so Britain has indeed voted to approve joining airstrikes in Syria by a margin of 397 votes to 223. Not overwhelming, but enough to give David Cameron what he wants. Britain will be joining that air campaign, AMRA, and it'll be doing so in the next hour or so. So those military commanders out in the region in the Middle East will be getting their orders to strike ISIS targets in Syria. A big moment for UK politics, this.
Absolutely. We just watched that happen live there on television. You just heard British lawmakers there approving to extend airstrikes to Syria. The UK has been part of the air campaign in Iraq against ISIS, and now this will extend to Syria. Max, as we've been continuing this conversation, just a little bit more, though, about the debate that has been taking place also amongst the public. I mean, what has the public opinion been on this?
Well, there were some polls conducted just after the Paris attacks, and certainly more than 50% people at that point were in favour of striking ISIS targets in Syria. That fell back slightly this week, and the accusation from Jeremy Corbyn, the leader of the Labour Party, was that David Cameron's trying to get this vote in whilst he has the support of the public. There may be some truth to that, but certainly there is support in the public for Syrian airstrikes, and I don't think you're going to have any major opposition now. But what you are going to have now is big questions about what happens next. So if David Cameron and Barack Obama and Francois Hollande all want to see regime change in Syria, they want Assad to go, how are they going to make that happen? Because that's now a fundamental part of their strategy. They accept that ground troops, Western ground troops there in Syria aren't an option on the table right now. They're going to rely on rebel troops. So the next phase in that strategy is to get rid of Assad and use government troops with rebel troops to fight ISIS on the ground there. I was speaking to a former military commander here in the UK, though, saying that in a year's time, if this hasn't worked, they're going to have to readdress it and potentially put Western ground troops on the ground there to make this be an effective campaign. So lots of questions about whether or not airstrikes on their own will work and what will follow up next. And also, you know, huge amount of concern about what happens to Syria, the people of Syria, after all of this is over, because we've seen what happened in Iraq, and I think it's widely accepted now that that wasn't a successful effort led by Tony Blair and George W. Bush.